everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for a little bit of a review of a TV series, TV show. I don't do these too often, but I had to tonight. It's The Mandalorian, right? Love the show. I didn't have to review it for anybody, but now I've just watched Season 2, Episode 8, the finale, and it's phenomenal. I have nobody else to share this with, so I have to share it with you. I mean, my family doesn't care about Star Wars, so, my sister, my niece, all they do. They're all in bed now, and I can't get a hold of them. So I'm going to talk directly to you about how phenomenal this episode was. Now, don't worry, I won't spoil it for you. But if you're a true Star Wars fan, I don't even say true, if you're a big Star Wars fan, it doesn't matter. This episode is outstanding. In fact, I went to record this to share it all with you about how excited I am about this episode. And there's a post-credit scene. And I had to turn it off and come back and watch it, which made it even better. So I grew up with the original trilogy. When I was a kid, I have all the action figures, still do. All the, everything. The Darth Vader action figure holder. I lived and breathed Star Wars for all three of those. And then, as we become adults, or as I became an adult, they came out with the prequels, right? Which was great and brought you back a little bit, and it was like, that was kind of fun, but it wasn't the same. Like, I always wish they would have just continued on after Return of the Jedi and moved forward. And then they didn't, so they went to the prequels, and then they came back with all the post-Return of the Jedi stuff, and it was good. But it was so many years later, the actors were so much older, and, it just kind of like wasn't the same. Still good, and I enjoyed it, and it was their own story with Rey and, everybody else, Finn, all that stuff. And that's great, and I still enjoyed it, and I appreciate it, and I'm glad they did it. But always, the original trilogy for me. And so coming back and seeing The Mandalorian for the last two episodes has been great. It really has. I mean, I didn't know much. I mean, of course, I was a Boba Fett fan back then, even though he was only in it a little bit. Didn't know anything about Mandalorians, to be honest with you, but I liked the way he looked. And then they make The Mandalorian, and you find out a little bit more about, oh, that's who they are. This is cool. I like that character, and I like what Jon Favreau's been doing with it. I mean, it's just so true to Star Wars, and it's just like so much fun. It's great, and it's only a couple years after Return of the Jedi, and they're sneaking things in here and there, and it's like, oh yeah, that's awesome, land speeder, cool, And I just really loved the show. I'm mad that it's only 8 episodes long, but I digress. It all comes down to this episode for me. I mean, this, when they get to it, the whole season is just like little adventures. And I was like saying to myself, like, while it's fun and I enjoy it, I don't feel like there's that purpose, or it just seems like they're not going anywhere. They're just going to different places and fighting or finding stuff or something like that, and it was just like, that's all it was. And I was like, I still like it. It's not like I'm disappointed, but I'll take it for what it's worth. It's not going to be, and then bam, I watched Season 8, Episode 8, and and the first part was all kind of the same, it was all the same stuff, and Moss Gideon and whatever, and the droids, and okay, cool, but then, right? And then it was just like, how are they going to do this? How are they going to, wow. Then you watch the credits, and it's like, I mean, not even the posting credits, I mean actually the words when they say who was in the show, and it's like, wow. I mean, phenomenal. I know I'm not saying much because I can't, because in case you haven't watched it, if you're a Mandalorian fan and you're watching me before you watch the final, I appreciate it. But get out there and watch that one. I think the whole point of this little video is how excited I am, and hopefully everybody else is sharing the same excitement with me, because this has just made my night. So, alright, there you go. I don't know. Really didn't give you much information except for I'm happy. Hopefully you're happy. Hopefully everybody else is happy. Hopefully this continues. I'm sure it will. I know they're already going to talk about Season 3. And hats off to Jon Favreau. I mean, I've always liked him. I mean, the guy made Iron Man and stuff like that. But even before that, when he was an actor, I liked him. Now, I just think he's the world. I think he's awesome. You know, so he's just done so much for me. So anyway, I wish I'd get him involved in DC. That's the next thing. Let's not start that argument. DC versus Marvel. DC guy, you know that. Let's get him over there. I'm going to write him a letter after this. Actually, John, I know you subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you could, you know, let's talk about Justice League 2. All right. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.